Well, in the Middle East, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is weighing military options today, not only because of the situation in Gaza, but also as he considers the next move after an unprecedented attack from Iran involving hundreds of missiles and drones. As Debora Patta reports, there is disagreement in Israel over how to respond.
Engineered for maximum effect, but resulting in minimal damage, the Iranian aerial assault has triggered global calls for restraint.
It's time to step back from the brink.
Retired two-star Israeli General Nimrod Shefa does not believe Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is the right person to make such a critical decision.
So if you ask me if Netanyahu is a risk to the state of Israel, my opinion is yes.
He believes Netanyahu has a vested interest in prolonging the war in Gaza and escalating the conflict with Iran in order to stay in power.
If you're retaliating just to show that you're strong enough, it's a wrong idea. It's a wrong strategy.
The fear of an all-out regional war has distracted attention away from the misery in Gaza. There are still regular airstrikes, each day bringing new grief and fresh trauma. Extreme hunger stalks the territory. More aid is arriving, but it is not enough. There are desperate queues for bread. This bakery in the north reopened for the first time in more than 6 months of war after the World Food Programme brought in fuel and flour. Food prices have soared, and those who can afford the rising costs are frantically trying to access their money. Banks are running out of cash.
With an unfinished war in Gaza and escalating tensions with Iran, Israel is weighing how to respond to the Iranian assault. Senior Israeli military experts have told us the war cabinet must balance retaliation with ensuring it does not fracture the international alliance it's built up against Tehran. Anne-Marie?
All right, Debora, thank you. So for more on that delicate balance, I want to bring in a CBS News national security contributor, Sam Vinograd. She is the former Assistant Secretary of Counterintelligence. Thank you so much for joining us. So let's talk about that. Israel's military chief says that, of course, there will be a response to Iran's attack. But how do we weigh this? How do they determine what to do that will be a forceful retaliation, but also will not anger the international coalition that continues to support Israel?
Good morning, Anne-Marie. Let's first start domestically within Israel, and then we can talk internationally. Domestically, Prime Minister Netanyahu has been under enormous pressure since October 7th by various factions within the Israeli government and the Israeli people. He has failed to secure the release of hostages. The ground operation in Gaza is not going as well as he had said it would, and there is a humanitarian catastrophe unfolding. He is under enormous political pressure to change course in Gaza to bring the hostages home. And we have seen mass protests in the street of Israel, as well as pressure from members of his very far-right coalition to launch a ground operation into Gaza. So he's facing a lot of political uncertainty there. Iran's unprecedented direct attack against Israel does shift political attention a bit domestically within Israel away from Prime Minister Netanyahu's operations in Gaza to the unprecedented threat from Iran, but I don't know how long that's going to last. His far-right coalition will call for an extreme response against Iran and an extreme response very soon. We have to balance that against the fact that the international community, including the United States, is united in calling for Israel not to launch a direct military attack against Iran. So I would imagine, Anne-Marie, that the United States, United Kingdom, and others are urging Israel to carefully think about all the tools in their toolbox in this respect, whether it be military, diplomatic, covert action, and more.
We know that President Biden has said that the U.S. will not participate in any sort of counterstrike against Iran. But if this somehow evolves into sort of like a tit-for-tat situation, where will the U.S. support be? How will the U.S. respond?
President Biden has been very clear that the United States will continue to provide for Israel's defense and that partnership is ironclad. So if we do continue to see a tit-for-tat escalatory cycle, I think we can count on the United States continuing to provide anti-missile support. There are 2 new naval destroyers that are in the region to help with that. I imagine that the United States would continue to shoot down aerial projectiles that violate airspace in countries like Jordan and Saudi Arabia. Those are launched from Iran. So the United States will continue to provide for Israel's defense. What reportedly the administration has said that they're drawing the line when it comes to offense, that they will not provide, from my assessment, intelligence or direct military support if Israel does choose to launch a military operation against Iran.
All right, Sam, thank you very much.